Fala pessoal, de boa, continuando a nossa gameplay do Starfield. E bom, hoje vamos fazer algumas missões secundárias aqui que a gente tem em Nova Atlântida.
I have to say, I'm impressed. You've adjusted to this whole endeavor better than I would have expected. Not that that's any sort of assumption about you, of course. There's just, well, this is all a lot to take in. We probably should have spoken before now, but I didn't want to get in the way. I'm Noelle. It's really nice to meet you. And thank you for bringing the artifact to us. Planning on sticking around then? Good. I think we can find a spot for you. And along the way, I can give you the very abbreviated tour. Right. So you've seen the library, obviously. Walter's quite proud of the collection, but Mateo has made more than a few contributions. Gardens are out the doors there, if you need a moment of quiet contemplation. Emphasis on the quiet part, at least usually. Let's head upstairs. Sebastian Banks, Constellation's founder, had this place built decades ago. It was a big to-do at the time, but most people in the city have forgotten we're here.
Beleza, né? Então basicamente ela vai apresentar aqui a localização pra gente, que teremos já logo de cara também um lugar grátis ali, né, pra dormir, né, mano, e guardar as coisas num cofre também. É bem legal essa parte.
So this is the bar. Usually no tender, so help yourself, within reason, of course. Now let's see about that room. You're in luck. We were almost at max occupancy already, but there's still one room up for grabs. It's been nice having the place so full. Okay, this'll be you. Common room on one side, so that'll be quiet, and Mateo on the other side, so maybe a little less quiet. I'm sure Sarah has something planned for each of us, so I'd better get back to it. Don't want to keep her waiting too long. Enjoy!
Beleza, né? Então praticamente aqui é onde fica o nosso quarto, que a gente pode utilizar ali, ó. É bem legalzinho, mano. Uma cama aí pra dormir, né? Sentar aí também pra descansar. E claramente a gente meio que tem um cofre ali que dá pra guardar as coisas também, beleza? Beleza, e continuando aqui então com nossas atividades, que a gente vai chamar assim agora, igual o jogo ali. Missões secundárias no caso, né? Vamos investigar ali, ó, apagões no poço, tá? É uma área embaixo da Nova Atlântida. E mano, isso daqui a gente vai liberando só de andar no mapa, tá? Tem esse detalhe, várias missões aqui, interações, tudo apareceu só de eu caminhar. Eu não falei com ninguém, tá? Só de eu caminhar já apareceu isso. Então ó, o objetivo ali pra gente está bem à frente, certo? A parte da investigação é só ir nela e começar a missão.
Hey! Oh, you're not Carl. Sorry, I shouldn't assume. Maybe you go by Carl. You're just not the Carl I was waiting for. We're supposed to be investigating a power drain down here. People have been reporting brownouts for a while, and Mass finally decided to follow up on it. I can't be in two places at once, and Carl isn't here, so I'm just trying to look inconspicuous. Well, since you're here and Carl isn't, and I really want to get this solved, I will take you up on that. What I need isn't very technical. I can talk you through it remotely. I'm gonna head to the monitoring station. The first box we're looking for is over near UC Surplus. You know, Antonio's place. I can contact you once you get there.
Beleza, né? Então a gente vai meio que procurar uns disjuntor ali e ficar desativando, tá? É só deixar a missão marcada aqui, apertando o F. Vai aparecer uma linha no chão ali te direcionando corretamente para o objetivo da missão. Então utilizando esse sistema, dificilmente vocês vão acabar se perdendo aqui mesmo não conhecendo a área, tá? Por esse motivo eu vou ir dando uns cortes ali pra gente ir economizando tempo de vídeo aqui, né? Porque é só ficar andando.
Hey, can you hear me? I think this this is working. I only have a general view of things, but you should be near the first junction box. Look for it mounted on the wall. When you find it, open it up and flip the big switch. That's it. Great job. So that tripped the secondary breaker, and that goes to... Oh wow, really? They wired it like that? Jeez, okay. Okay, got it. Next one is way down past Jake's, and maybe up a story or two? It's a bit of a hike. Sorry.
Beleza, então agora a gente vai ali pro segundo disjuntor. A gente precisa ativar uns interruptores aí pra abrir as portas, né? E ir liberando o caminho também, né? Pra gente avançar com a missão e ter acesso ao segundo ali também.
Alright, you should be near the next junction box. This section isn't used very much these days, so maybe a little harder to see. That's the one. Next one's not too far. Dead end, right down from Jake's. Right under that apartment they've been trying to sell. Good luck with that, right?
Aí a gente fez ali uma caminhada bem tranquila pro terceiro. Simples.
You should be near the next junction box. And if those squatters never cleared out, I would suggest avoiding eye contact. That should be fine. Another switch flipped, another lead to follow. And the lights in here just flickered too. The wiring is worse than I thought. I'm going to work on fixing that little issue while you find the next junction box. Looks like it's over near the... the Trade Authority. Okay, just find that and, maybe don't talk to anyone about it just yet.
Beleza, não é a mesma coisa? Só seguir ali pro quarto disjuntor.
Okay, the final box I need you to deal with should be right around there. Unfortunately, I just realized you're in for a real tangle of cabling. Like 200 years of fill attempts to rewire things. I tried to fix it 3 years back and was crying by the second day. Gave up on the third. Anyway, there should be a series of secondary breakers you need to deal with before you can access the junction box. I don't remember the order, but flip levers until all those circuits are powered down.
Aí beleza, né? Meio que a gente tem um enigma ali pra resolver. Já deu errado. Resumo da história. Pera aí, mano. Pera que vai. Ô, caralho, fechei, pera. Não foi. E aí? Deu bom. Tenso. Mas é isso aí.
Wow, you got it. Really well done. You saved me like a week of work. Why didn't you meet me at the monitoring station, near where we met?
Bom, só voltar nela agora.
Did I say thank you? Because thank you. There's no way I could have done that in a reasonable amount of time all by myself. Well, not everyone would be, and I appreciate it. Thanks to your help, I was able to trace the power drain. I know where it's coming from. Unfortunately, the source is exactly where I was afraid it was. The Trade Authority. So, that's something that I'll need to deal with. That'll be fun. If you want to tag along, I certainly wouldn't complain, but if not, then this is where we part ways.
Aí nessa parte aqui, meio que a gente encerrou a primeira missão e ela tem uma continuação ali. Então já vamos conversar com ela de novo para seguir em frente.
So thanks to you, we've got evidence that the Trade Authority is behind the power drain being reported down here. I don't know if you ever dealt with the Trade Authority, but Zoe is intimidating. I have to go in there, but I really don't want to. You think you'd be willing to go with me? Just make sure this doesn't go badly? Thanks. That means a lot. I can do the talking, I think. Just be ready for, well, anything.
Beleza, pessoal, nessa parte aqui a gente vai ter que ir com ela até a localização lá específica para a missão continuar, tá? No caso, como ela só vai andar, não vai correr, eu vou dar um corte porque é só você seguir ela até a área lá, tá? E eu espero que ela não fique bugada ali, né? Porque não era esse caminho não, filho. É pra você continuar descendo a escada. Eu acho que agora desbugou. Olha, quase deu merda já. Então assim, como ela não vai correr, ela vai andar nesse passo aí, eu vou dar um corte pra localização.
A visit from Mast. How delightful. You'll have to remind me of your name.
Even in the well, the trade authority continues to flourish.
I'm really
Makes you
sorry.
sick, doesn't it?
Well, you know that. Because I've been in here 3 times.
Yes, of course you are. And what was it you were accusing me of with absolutely no evidence?
The power drain is coming from your building, Zoe. You and I both know it, and now I can prove it.
I'm sorry, what?
We traced the drain, checked the grid. It led us here. You can't talk your way out of this.
I'm going to ask you to wait here a moment. I'll be right back.
This was pretty low on the list of things I wanted to do today. Okay, just be ready for anything. I don't know if she's going to come out of there with a gun or call in mercenaries or what.
Don't worry. Whatever happens, we're prepared to handle the situation.
I don't want this to turn out violent if we can avoid it, okay? Okay, you're probably right. Just need to breathe.
Well, Miss Reyes, I apologize for not taking this matter more seriously. I assure you I will eagerly assist in getting to the bottom of this.
No, you're not weaseling out of this. We got to the bottom of it. You are the bottom.
I appreciate your enthusiasm for your work, but I do a little more research before casting aspersions. Someone has indeed been using this location through which to route electrical power. It is not the Trade Authority. I've had my suspicions for a while, and have been keeping detailed notes, which I'm happy to share with you. For now, though, what do we do next?
Wait, what?
Oh, for heaven's sake. I presume you've been assisting Miss Reyes in tracking down this little problem. Well, clearly there's more work to be done. Why don't you continue the work you've been doing with an assurance that the Trade Authority will compensate you for your time? I'll coordinate things here with Miss Reyes. With Mast's access to the grid, we'll find out who did this soon enough. And why. Presumably, you're the one who's been doing the field work, so I believe you'll find there's another junction box out there in the well that needs your attention.
Okay, well, this is not how I saw this going. For the moment, let's assume this is all legitimate. I can sort out the details with Zoe. So why don't you go investigate the next junction box?
E aí, basicamente, o que a gente tava fazendo até agora com os disjuntor ainda vai continuar mais um pouco. Então é só ir nele também.
Hey there, you should be getting close.
Hello? Is this functional? I insist that you provide updates for any suspicious activity. Is that clear?
And Zoe's here too, if you hadn't guessed. We've agreed to work together on this. Once you throw the switch, we can direct you to the next junction box. That's it, thanks. Let's just take a look here. Okay, you're going to want to head for box 45A. It should be near Apex Electronics.
You can't possibly be serious. Are you looking at the same diagram I am? 47B is obviously the next one. It's on the same level.
Zoe, I know how to read. Ignore her. Head for box 45A, okay?
Beleza, aí a gente tem escolhas agora, mas eu não confio na loira lá, então eu vou no da Luísa.
Thank you for trusting that a lifelong employee of Mass knows what she's talking about.
Oh, please.
I'm sure you can handle whatever challenge might be associated with reaching the box. You're doing great. And that was indeed the correct junction box. See that, Zoe?
Yes, fine. Let's move on.
Okay, just making sure you saw it. So, now things get interesting. I can't find the next spot on any of my current diagrams.
And I can begrudgingly confirm that she's reading them correctly. We've reached the conclusion that it must be somewhere on the surface, outside the well. Miss Reyes has suggested that this means it's somehow no longer her responsibility. I frankly don't care. I want to find this person.
And here's where I begrudgingly agree with Zoe. It's not technically my problem at this point, but I want to see where this trail leads. If you head topside, I'll pull the diagrams we'll need and contact you.
O próximo a gente tem que voltar para a área de cima da cidade, né? Então vamos lá.
Miss Reyes is still collecting the necessary diagrams and blueprints to accurately assess the situation. Before she returns, I'm going to make you an offer. Whatever you find at the end of this path, you bring it to me first. I'll be certain that best gets what
I've flown across
but I
most of the
traded
settled
valuable
systems in all manners
information.
of spacecraft,
I suspect you're
and
going to
yet
find some.
I still get
I
sick on the
guarantee
nav.
you the Trade Authority will pay well. Consider that as you head towards the residential district. We can't pinpoint the source yet, but it's somewhere over there.
Bom, e depois de uma boa caminhada, né, chegamos no disjuntor.
Well, that's unexpected. Powering down that junction doesn't show any other connections.
Clearly, the source must be inside that residential tower.
Yeah, that would make sense. You know, I think I remember seeing a report about power problems on one of the upper floors. I bet it's related. See if you can get up there.
Beleza, né? Então está nesse prédio aqui. A gente vai ter que pegar o elevador ali pra subir.
You've got to... Goodbye.
Opa. Calma. Aí, agora vai. Porque a gente vai ter que entrar ali, né, mano? Em um apartamento pra ver o que tá acontecendo. Então, como eu não sei o que tem, é bom já ir preparado, né? Aqui a gente vai ter que usar o sistema aí de hacking do game, né? Uai, pera aí que eu tô meio burro aqui, mano. Calma aí. Tá, aqui deu bom. Aí agora, esse daqui é pra cima ali, né? Não é pra lá não, pera aí. É o contrário. Eu tô moscando, velho. Aí, isso. Pronto, beleza.
You definitely know your way around a lock.
Nem tanto, ainda. Aí a gente, né, meio que invade ali o apartamento. Vamos dar uma olhadinha pra ver o que tem aqui também. É sempre bom, né, porque assim, eu não sei se a gente vai voltar aqui alguma hora ou não. Pode ser um apartamento que a gente só entra uma vez por causa da missão e depois esquece que a existência dele no jogo. Então eu vou dar aquela olhada com calma. Se tiver alguma coisa eu levo, se não tiver nada também foda-se, né? A gente só vai ali no objetivo da missão, pega as provas e vai embora. Que pelo jeito é isso aí mesmo que a gente vai ter que fazer. Não tem mais nada mesmo não. Computador aqui. Tranquilo, vamos acessar ele agora. Aí quem quiser dar uma lida aí também, é só pausar o vídeo que vai estar aí, tá? Na tela pra vocês. Qualquer tipo de informação. E agora, a gente só precisa voltar lá nas duas. Claro que eu vou entregar essas provas aqui pra Luiz. Porque, né, eu não confio na outra, mesmo que a outra tenha oferecido um pagamento ali, né? E bora lá.
So you tracked it down. You've got something to show for it? Great. I'll get this back to Mass for analysis. I'm not stupid. I know Zoe probably made you an offer. I appreciate that you didn't take it. And I'm really glad we got to work together on this. So, looks like maybe someone thought they could hack into Galabank's system. In fact, looks like maybe they did. Still want to claim you had nothing to do with this, Zoe?
My dear, why in the world would I want to break the law? And Galbank, no less. I do quite enough business with them as it is.
All right. Well, I'll have some people look over this. Maybe they'll be in touch.
I very much doubt that.
See you around.
Com isso a gente tem aí uma missão secundária completada. A próxima a gente vai começar essa daqui do cientista, tá? Que fica ali perto da nossa base, certo? A gente também recebe ela ali só de passar nas áreas. Em algum momento isso daqui vai ser ativado. Vamos conversar com ele agora para entender um pouco da situação, beleza?
I'm sorry, I really can't afford to be distracted. I need to get to the bottom of this. Yes, concerned is an understatement. I work for the scientific division of MAST. I've been studying this tree for quite some time, and it appears to be exhibiting some worrying signs. Are you familiar with this particular specimen? Do you understand its importance?
I've passed by this particular tree many times, and honestly, I never gave it a second thought. Does it hold some sort of special significance?
Finally, somebody understands. Unless, wait, you're not mocking me, right? People. Look, I have a lot of work to do here. If you're just going to gawk, I'd ask that you move on. If you can actually assist me, however, I would appreciate it. I don't normally solicit help from random passersby, but it seems an exception is necessary. Would you be willing to retrieve some additional data for me? Well, thank you. That's unexpected. There's a series of biosensors I've placed in various locations around New Atlantis, all calibrated to gather pertinent information. They've been running for long enough that I think it's time to collect and analyze their findings. If you would bring them to me, that would save time.
Beleza, missão iniciada. Então aqui basicamente é só você também caminhar pela cidade por enquanto, tá? Pelo menos nessa primeira parte aqui. Onde a gente precisa ir em todos os pontos marcados ali pela missão. Você pode muito bem também apertar o F e só ir seguindo a linha ali para chegar nele mais facilmente. É só recolher todos os sensores que a gente tem aqui pela cidade, tá? E vai estar espalhado por aí, mano. Demora um pouco essa missão aqui porque a gente precisa realmente dar uma boa caminhada aqui para recolher todos eles, tá? Então eu vou ir dando uns cortes ali pra gente economizar tempo de vídeo, já que é só você ir nas localizações ali mesmo. Por mais que demore, é só você andar com o personagem até lá. Recolhemos mais um. Vamos para o próximo. Beleza, né? Então esse daqui está em cima da árvore ali. Vamos para o próximo. Só seguir a linha ali.
Hey, are you looking for eggs too? I've only found one so far, but I want to find more before anyone else does. So if you see some, can you tell me? Okay, thanks. Miss Seng over at UC Distribution bought the one I found, and she said she might buy more if I can find them. I could really use the credits.
Esse aqui a gente teve que pegar ali até o metrô, né, pra mudar de distrito ali, certo? Dessa vez a gente tá entrando numa outra localização aqui, meio que uma loja, e só conversar com essa mina aqui.
I'm afraid, due to recent legislative action, I'm no longer able to allocate ships. I can, however, deal in general goods. Welcome to UC Distribution. Now, before you say a word, I am required to inform you that formal complaints cannot be filed until the customer feedback system is back online. I have been told it'll be up and running in 2 weeks, but you know how these things are. I am sorry for any potential inconvenience. Also, if you're here about a corporate account, I've been assured that deliveries will be back on schedule soon. Who, Jordan? That kid's in here every other day with some random thing he found. Trying to get credits. Yeah, I took pity on him. Why, what is it? Oh, really? Well, you can have it back for what I paid for it, plus a little extra. Let's call it a convenience fee, shall we? Pleasure doing business with you. Right. Come back if you need something else.
Padrão, né? Então a gente acabou recuperando todos os sensores ali, né? Eu até paguei porque tava barato e vamos voltar no cientista.
I need all of the biosensors if the data is to be of any use. Any luck tracking down those sensors? So you do. Wonderful. I'll just take these, and we'll see what they have to tell us. All right, we'll just upload the data. Give it a moment. And just another moment. It is working, isn't it? Ah, there it is. What a relief. Now, let's see. This is... well, it's... oh my. Well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is that my suspicions were correct. There is something wrong with the tree. I will report my findings to MAST immediately with no small amount of satisfaction. The phrase, "I told you so," may even be uttered more than once. Yes, it does feel good to be right, particularly when others have attempted to convince you otherwise. Repeatedly. The bad news, as it were, is that the internal composition of the tree is changing. In this particular case, the tree is now regularly emitting ultra-low frequency sound waves. They're nearly imperceptible now, but they're growing in strength. This is something we've never observed before. Depending on how large these waves grow, consequences for the city could be, well, disastrous. I must consult with my colleagues in MAST at once. Thank you for your assistance. I hope these credits are adequate compensation.
Com isso a gente acaba a primeira parte da missão. Claro que a gente precisa passar um tempo. Eu voltei pra base, dormi ali por um dia e voltei nele pra continuar com ela.
Ah, well, isn't this a pleasant surprise? I hadn't expected to run into you again. Indeed I am. The success of my previous venture, with which you so kindly assisted, has been brought to the attention of MAST. There is growing concern. Oh my, a bit of an unintentional pun, isn't that? Well, concern that things are going to get worse. The data we gathered points to a definitive trend. The vibrations coming from this tree are increasing in strength and frequency. Because we've never seen this before, not on this scale, we have absolutely no idea what the upper limit is. We don't know when or even if this will stop. It's imperceptible by normal human standards now, but given time... While I hesitate to speculate on the possibilities, well, none of them are good. I am attempting to formulate one, yes. But until I have all of the relevant information, it is impossible to do so. There is data regarding other, younger members of the species. Unfortunately, there are some, shall we say, personal issues with acquiring it. Personnel issues, if you understand me. What? No, that is ridiculous. I am a professional. One of the other researchers in MAST, Emilio Hadek, has research I believe could be vital to my work here. He and I don't see eye to eye, and so far he's refused to turn it over to me. I'm hoping that if someone else were to ask, he might be more inclined to relinquish it. What do you say? Oh, thank you. Last I knew, he was on a field assignment somewhere near the outskirts of the city. Perhaps it's best if you don't mention my name in the process?
Beleza, agora a gente precisa conversar com outro cientista para obter esses dados aí. Vamos ver no que vai dar.
Mind your step. Important research happening here. Could you stand a little to the left? I think you're blocking my readings. What? You've got to be kidding me. Is he seriously that desperate? No. No way. Kelton is actively ruining my career. There's no chance that I'm helping him with anything. Whatever this thing is he's on about, he's just doing it to make himself look good with the higher-ups. I'm not helping him with that. Right. Of course, we're all in danger. Trees are involved after all. He really won't let this go, will he? Maybe I can make this work in my favor. Okay, you know what? I'll hand over the data. But I'm only going to do so after you've helped me secure a better position in MAST. Oh, don't worry. You're just going to erase some files for me. Make sure I look good next time promotions get passed around. Well, then I guess we don't have anything else to discuss, and Kelton can just forget about getting his hands on the data. See you around.
É aquilo, né? Não queria aceitar, mas eu acho que a gente vai ter que ser obrigado, né, mano? Então vamos tentar lá.
Changed your mind, did you? Willing to help me get a promotion? Wait, really? Wow. Okay. Okay.
I'll follow your lead, but I wish handling our tree issue didn't involve using illegal methods to get the job done.
I've gotten a few bad performance evaluations in the last couple of years. Totally unjustified, incredibly unfair. I found a backdoor into the MAST network so I could make some changes to my personnel file, but it turns out the chief engineer knows what she's doing. The only way to get access is from the terminal in her apartment, which is kind of locked.
Beleza, né? Então, pelo jeito, a gente vai ter que tentar persuadir o cara aqui, mano. Vamos lá.
Sorry, that's not on the table.
A primeira opção não deu certo, aí meio que tem um aviso ali que vai ser meio que o tutorial também, te explicando um pouco do sistema, né, como que vai funcionar. Claro que a gente tem perks que vão ajudar nisso daí, depois também seria bom investir nessa parte. Mas, né, vamos tentar aqui então a primeira opção por enquanto.
There is, and I already explained exactly what it is.
E agora vamos tentar na segunda para completar ali.
I just want to make a name for myself, you know? I'm sure you can understand. Okay, look. Just hear me out, all right? I really need this to happen. If you do this for me, I can make it worth your while. You delete that data, I get promoted, I'm pulling in a bigger salary. I can compensate you. I'll throw in some extra credits for you, okay? A nice little bonus. But first, you need to get into the chief engineer's apartment. Fine, you win. Just get out of my sight. And tell Kelton to stuff it.
When you have a few moments, there's something I'd like to discuss. Thanks for taking the time to talk. I wanted to ask you about the artifact you found on Bactera. When you pulled it from the rock, held it in your hands for the first time, how did you feel? No, I don't think you understand. I know about the visions, the light, and the music. How did you feel inside? What were your thoughts? Oh my goodness. That must have been terrifying. When it comes to the artifacts, it never ceases to amaze me how the science, well, simply fails. True, true. But hey, how else would you describe it? The artifacts are so different, so alien, and I'm certain one of them reached out and spoke to you. Quite the mystery. Is there? After spending years gathering data about the artifacts, you'd think I'd have all the answers. Does that really surprise you? A universal mystery left unsolved for God knows how long? Oh, I've been dreaming about solving this puzzle from the beginning. I knew I picked the right person for the job. Look, I wanted to thank you for taking the time to talk, and for keeping an open mind. And I also wanted to say, well, I'm pleased we're on this journey together. It's the best decision I've made in quite a long time.
Missão concluída, só voltar lá no outro cientista.
I hope you have the data. It's really quite crucial. That he is. I'm sorry that you had to put up with him, but this data is vital. I'm sorry if this was complicated. I'd prefer to remain unaware of the details in the event that it comes up later, particularly in a legal setting. And I suppose I'd better verify the data to make sure Emilio didn't double-cross me. But you have once again come through for me. I'm truly hoping that this is the last piece I need to figure out what we can do. And I appreciate it. Thank you for your assistance.
Completamos então mais uma parte da missão e aí a mesma coisa, vou dormir ali por um dia e voltar nele para continuar.
Oh, I was hoping we might run into one another again. Your timing is most fortuitous. I'm on the verge of something, but I don't quite have all the information I need. You have no idea how much I appreciate that, truly. Of course, now that I understand more about what's going on, it seems plain as day, and yet I never would have imagined it before. The tertiary trunks have also liquefied their interiors, but they're not vibrating. I thought perhaps it was some sort of defect, but it's much simpler. They're listening. I don't. Not for sure. It's all a theory, certainly, but it is completely supported by the data and observation, like all good science. It's the best we have to go on right now. It means it is ready to reproduce. I believe this tree is sending vibrations out over massive distances and expecting to detect sympathetic vibrations in return. As of yet, there's been no response. I suspect that will not change, that a response is impossible, and that's very, very bad news. My thoughts precisely. Now, as of yet, there has been no response, and clearly none of the nearby individuals are a correct match. While it can't be ruled out that the intended recipient of these messages was cut down during the city's expansion, there is one other possibility. Over 100 years ago, the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective emerged from the Narian War. As a gesture of peace and goodwill, a near-literal olive branch, one of the trees from New Atlantis, was offered to the leaders of Aquila City. Nice. Short-sighted and ill-advised, in my opinion. Of course, you can't just uproot a native species and plunk it down on some other planet in a totally different environment and expect it to grow. Clearly, no exobotanists were consulted ahead of time. The end result was wholly predictable. The tree died within a few short years. Clever, but no, not necessarily. The tree died, yes, but branches were kept. At least one still exists in the museum there in the city. If I had that branch, I could get DNA samples, and then using various data I've gathered, I could attempt to simulate a response. We could then broadcast that response and hopefully calm down our friend here. But as I say, I need that branch. I knew you would understand. The museum in Aquila City is under the supervision of one Miss Kassler, I'm told. I don't know anything about her, but hopefully she'll be willing to listen to reason and assist our cause. All right, off you go. We don't have any time to waste.
Beleza, né? E aí, mano, a continuação da missão ali, ela é um pouquinho mais problemática pra quem tá no início do game aqui. Porque a gente precisa ir para um outro planeta bem longe daqui. E este é o problema, tá? No início aqui eu não tenho essa rota liberada e eu vou ter que fazer ela, ó. Como vocês podem ver, ó, eu não tenho a rota liberada para ir, por mais que a minha nave tenha combustível suficiente para fazer uma dobra direta ali. Então, o que eu terei que fazer? Ir para esse planeta que é mais próximo do que eu estou aqui no momento, do de baixo, certo? Se der para ir direto pro de cima, a gente vai tentar. Senão eu vou ter que fazer uma dobra pro de baixo e depois ir pro planeta que tem a missão, beleza? Mas vai ter que ser através dessas viagens aí, querendo ou não, beleza? Porque a gente não tem a rota. Nesse caso aqui, eu preciso liberar ela primeiro, porque depois a gente só pula direto lá e pousa, não precisa de dobra nem nada. Mas o problema é que a descoberta vai ter que fazer uma dobra ali, então sempre vai ter a primeira vez.
Hey, contact Charlie 3. That's you. Charlie 3. Hi. Nice to meet you. Bye, Charlie 3. Hi. Just doing my daily paying it forward. Avoid the Altair system. Like big time. Sure. So, I'm doing my rounds, pick up supply drops, and I'm grabbing the Altair system, and oh boy! Spacers all over the damn place there. Distress call, yammering nonstop. Something big's going down there, and all of us with no skin in the game, best we just give it a wide berth. Am I right? I skedaddled as soon as my grav drive could spin up, but yeah, lucky. Bye, Charlie 3. You've been like the best Charlie 3 I talked to all week.
Beleza, e só de fazer ali a primeira viagem aqui para essa localização, a gente já liberou coisa, né? Então tem esse pequeno detalhe aqui. Mas beleza, né? Continuando ali, então, vamos dar uma olhada para ver se eu consigo saltar ali, né? Fazer a dobra para outro planeta. Ó, eu não tenho condição de fazer direto para lá. Porém, eu tenho como liberar um dos caminhos que é vindo para essa área aqui. Então eu vou fazer uma dobra para cá e depois eu vou pular lá para cima, beleza? E lá vamos nós de novo, né? Mais uma vez. Deixa eu marcar a missão aqui, pera aí. Deixa ele me mostrar a rota ali. E agora sim, ó, eu tenho o caminho pro planeta específico da missão, né? Então vamos lá fazer mais uma dobra aqui.
Welcome to the Freestar Collective. Please maintain your current course while we scan your ship. And that's it. Enjoy that Aquila City air.
Beleza, né? Então, vamos lá. Passamos ali pela verificação do planeta. Tranquilo nessa parte aí. Só dar uma avaliada na situação ali em relação a recursos. E agora a gente precisa pousar lá para chegar na cidade. E dessa forma a gente vai continuar a missão. Bora descer nesse planeta aqui. É minha primeira vez chegando nele ali, então não faço ideia como que é aqui a parte de gravidade, sobrevivência, por aí vai.
Would it be too much to ask if we stopped by Laredo Firearms and took a look around?
Aí, como padrão, a gente sempre aperta o F ali pra já inspecionar algumas áreas ali, né? Essa daqui eu acabei de descobrir porque é a própria cidade de Aquila. Tranquilo. Vamos seguindo aqui então pra entrar pra cidade, porque possivelmente a gente vai ter que conversar com uma pessoa aqui no museu. Então, primeiramente, vamos pra lá.
Hold it. By order of Marshal Daniel Blake, I need to inform you we've got some trouble at Gal Bank. Folks might be in danger, so you may want to steer clear. If you think you might be able to help out, you could talk to the Marshal. Truth is, last I heard, things weren't going so good.
Eu vou adiar essa ajuda aí porque eu não vim explorar o planeta, tá? Eu só vim por causa da missão da Nova Atlântida, então vamos continuar com ela.
Welcome to the Co-Heritage Museum. I offer a brief tour and I'm happy to discuss the city's history as well. Everything you see here is a piece of Aquila City's history. That is not something I expected to hear today. I assume you're somehow associated with the United Colonies? I've received some odd messages of late. A lot of that these days. You do what you have to, I suppose. But I can't see myself taking jobs from the UC. Well, I'm afraid you've wasted your time because I'm not authorized, nor particularly inclined, to release any of our pieces. That includes 100-year-old tree branches. Sorry, but it's staying in storage.
Pelo jeito a gente vai ter que tentar persuadir ela ali ou roubar o item, né? Tem esse detalhe.
I have artifacts that date all the way back to the time of Solomon Coe himself. I hear what you're saying, but I'm afraid it's out of the question.
Vamos ver se eu consigo aqui também, né? Eu vou na opção mais básica ali de cima, né? A mais safe.
Go on. Keep asking. I still won't hand it over.
Já deu errado. Que merda, hein? Vamos pela mais safe de novo, porque ainda tenho 2 turnos ali.
Sorry, it's just too risky.
Agora eu vou arriscar a última, já tô puto já. Não, aí já é poucas ideias já.
I don't know. I guess it does take up space that could be used for other items. I can't believe I'm doing this. Please return it in one piece.
Aí a situação já começou a ficar mais estreita, né? Mas beleza, aí agora é só a gente viajar de volta pra Nova Atlântida e continuar com a missão. No caso aqui, eu só voltei pra nave pra mostrar uma coisa pra vocês, tá? Porque eu tive que fazer a dobra pra chegar nessa localização, porque eu não tinha liberado ainda. Porém, agora pra voltar, como eu já tenho as áreas ali exploradas, né? E liberada também, porque a gente já visitou, eu posso pousar direto no planeta sem precisar de dobra nem nada. O jogo só manda você direto pra lá de volta. Então isso daí ajuda bastante.
Have you paid a visit to Miss Castler in Aquila City? Yes, of course. I'll see that it is returned to her in one piece. Well, perhaps minus a few shavings. Now, I just need a moment to analyze this and synthesize an audio response to our friend here. All right, so we'll feed in a sample. Now the program will incorporate the genetic and chemical makeup of the sample, extrapolating the size and structure of the original tree. This was put together rather hastily, so complete accuracy is impossible, but I'm hoping it's enough. And there it is. Our best hope for a positive solution to this mess. So, we now have a simulated response to our tree. All that's left is to play it. An excellent question. I have been wondering myself. I've been forced to listen to this SSNN kiosk chatter incessantly this entire time. I think it could be put to better use. We don't have time to go through the proper channels, but if you can find a terminal and get this uploaded into their system, it might do the trick. Perhaps, but desperate times, and all that. Certainly, if you have some other option, by all means, take advantage of it.
Though I am not exactly thrilled we're doing anything illegal. I suppose we've come this far, so it would be a shame to stop now.
Yes, well, it's as I said, desperate times require desperate measures. I'm not proud of this, but it needs to be done. I have no doubt that you will.
Beleza, então a gente vai ter que colocar meio que esse som aí em um terminal para esse terminal distribuir pela cidade. Tranquilo, vamos para a localização.
Welcome to SSNN, where the news never sleeps. If you're part of the David Barron fan club, try not to inflate his ego too much. He's liable to burst. Sorry. Long day. Longer night. How about a do-over? Let's take a look at you. You're not from around here. My guess is you work, really work, for a living. I bet you have a story or two. I have a feeling about such things. Sounds like an old pickup line. But it really has, hasn't it? I'm interested only in primary sources. So things you've seen and or done that are newsworthy. No hearsay. So, what do you got for me? Looks like some Crimson Fleet brainiac figured out it's easier to hit stationary targets than dogfighting in the field. And you are an eyewitness with the courtesy to find us instead of being chased down. Refreshing. So what were the pirates doing there? It's not their usual MO.
Tell them about the ore. That was quite a lucrative operation.
Bad blood between the fabled Constellation and the Crimson Fleet? Has all the markings of what we in the SSNN call a story. So what's your role in all this? Part of a tour group? Huh. I didn't realize Argos extractors hired such capable crew. So we've covered the basics. How about any harrowing tales of daring do? How'd a bunch of miners triumph? Huh. Sounds like a good outfit. The heroic miner is a good angle. This is a good local story. Plucky miners band together and punch above their weight. If you ever get more stories like this, drop by. And take this to cover any incidentals, or other creative ways to pad out an expense report.
Aí aonde a gente encontra o terminal ali, acabei conversando com a mina, então quer dizer que com mais histórias que a gente tiver, podemos voltar nela para receber uma graninha ali de boa só para contar essas histórias para ela. Achei uma coisa até que bem interessante aí, dinheirinho de graça, vamos dizer assim, conforme a gente vai acumulando histórias aqui claramente pela evolução do game, né? Então aqui a gente acabou de fazer o upload dos arquivos ali, agora a gente vai ter que rodar um diagnóstico ali direitinho e pronto, só voltar no cientista lá novamente.
We've done it! I'm already seeing reductions in the strength of the vibrations. The tree is calming down. I can hardly believe that worked. I don't know. We've been in uncharted territory this whole time. That doesn't stop now. With the immediate crisis hopefully over, I can slow down and review everything we've learned. And certainly, I'll be keeping a much closer eye on our friend going forward. And you have saved this tree and advanced our scientific knowledge of our environment. Noble work across the board. You have my gratitude and that of every citizen in New Atlantis, though they don't know it.
Bom, pessoal, e por enquanto a gente encerra a missão, pelo menos ali, né? Pelo jeito acabou, só se tiver mais coisa aí conforme a gente avança no game, né? E no próximo vídeo a gente continua.